We are very happy because my first guest tonight has appeared, I think, in more than 80 films, including Champion, Spartacus, and Paths of Glory. He's also a best-selling author with 2 new books out right now, The Broken Mirror, and right here, this one, Climbing the Mountain. They're available everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a true Hollywood legend, Kirk Douglas.
Tony, I'm really glad to be here, and they make me feel very welcome, because a few hours ago I said to my wife, you know, I had a stroke a little while ago. I said, no, I don't think I will be able to talk. And she said, honey, you're all right. You're just temporarily out of order.
I think you're better than that.
You know, when I first had my stroke, I could only babble. And then I worked with a speech therapist, and then I got to talk about as good as my 3-year-old granddaughter, Kelsey. But one day, I said to Kelsey, my granddaughter, I said, Kelsey, say transcontinental. And she couldn't say it.
You showed her all right.
I left her in the dust. Now I speak like a 6-year-old.
You look fantastic, too, I gotta say.
Thank you.
It's stunning to see you. I've never met you before, and I saw you out in the hallway. It's Kirk Douglas. It's a stunning thing. You probably maybe saw at the top of the show. We don't get to meet many people like you. It's a real treat. It really is.
Yes, and let me tell you, one of the ads I said, is that for me? That ad for impressing the Grim Reaper.
No! No! That is not for you. Definitely not, no. I want... I didn't think people really watched the show back there in the green room. Most of the time I go back in the green room, they're watching something else. Not that I blame them.
Another thing, when you have a stroke, you must speak slowly to be understood. And I find that when I speak slowly, people listen.
I gotta try that,
they think I'm going to say something important.
Then you just order a cheeseburger. That's it.
That's right.
I just wanted a cheeseburger.
But you know, when I get excited, I can't speak well, and sometimes I will talk to Michael, and he says, what that? I said, Michael, don't you speak English?
He's got to listen, that kid.
Exactly.
Speaking of your son, Michael, his movie, The Game, was #1 this weekend. You must be very proud of him.
The Game is a wonderful movie, believe me, and he's so good in it. You know, if I knew he was going to be so famous, I would have been much nicer to him when he was young.
He didn't have an agent then. He was just a kid. He didn't. Are you going to make a movie, do you think?
Yes, we are talking about making a movie. As a matter of fact, we have never worked together, Michael and I. And then, before I had my stroke, we were working on the script. And then I had my stroke, and he said, well, Dad, listen, you just work with a speech therapist, and then we'll make the movie. So I said, Michael, why don't you work with my speech therapist? And then I said, Michael, when you talk like I talk, we'll make the movie.
I like that plan. It's a better plan all around.
But seriously, I'm so proud of Michael. He's really terrific.
Are you able to look at him completely as an actor, or is there always part of you that's just, that has that fatherly pride?
Well, I always have the fatherly pride in him because I think he's a much better actor than I am, and I thought I was a good actor.
No, really? You think he's a better actor than you? No.
Yes, I think so.
No.
I think so.
He's good, but no.
I was afraid he was going to agree with me.
Yeah. Then you would have punched me out, I think. I wanted to ask you. It's a funny story. I was reading in your book, Climbing the Mountain. You're making the movie Oscar with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yes.
And it's a very funny story where it's a very physical scene you had with him. I think you're playing his father. Isn't that correct?
Well, I never read the script. And they said, really,
You said Stallone's in it. I'm not going to read the script.
No, they said, Kirk, will you play a cameo? I said, no. Well, they said, just read it. It takes place before the title. So I read the first 5 pages, and I said, I will play it because I played a dying father, and he is my son, but he is a gangster. So he comes in, and I keep slapping in the face. And I tell you, I had such a wonderful time slapping Sylvester.
Well, was he okay with that, being slapped around so much?
After a while, he said, let's stop it. I'm getting brain crazy. But he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
I wanted to ask you about your sons, because we touched on them briefly, but in the book you talk about the fact that your sons started to criticize the way you were dressing. They wanted you to dress more Gen X. Is that the case?
You know, I tell you, my son, sometime I want... They said, Dad, you dress... look at what they say. You dress like your clothes come from a geriatrics workshop.
God, really?
So they brought me to the store, and they made me put on clothes, shoes. I tell you, I hated it. I hated it.
You had never worn shoes before. Yeah. No, but they made you dress. In the book you're talking about, it's all that kind of really loose fitting,
yes, you know,
the baggy pants.
Exactly.
They dressed you like a rapper.
Pants like you have, baggy pants like you have had an accident. You know,
That's the way to go.
But you know, Tony, when I was working on my book, and I would be depressed, you know, shows like yours are very important because it's important to laugh, to make a joke, and no matter how bad things are.
Thank you for that part, yeah. No, I know.
I mean,
I can relate, Kirk.
in life,
I know what you mean.
No matter how bad things come, they can always be worse. So that's why when I think of life as climbing a mountain. Everybody is climbing the mountain. And life is how you climb the mountain. And you must climb in life with a sense of humor. So any show that makes you laugh, I think is very, very precious and important.
Oh, thank you very much. That's high praise indeed. The books, as I mentioned before, are Kirk Douglas, Climbing the Mountain, and A Broken Mirror, and they're both in bookstores now. And I speak for Andy, too. This is it was a real pleasure and a thrill to meet you, and we hope sometime you come back again and visit us. But
I will.
we can't thank you enough for all the work you've done and for being here. Thank you very much. Kirk Douglas, everybody. Gabrielle Reese coming up. Hang on for 1 second.